Good morning. It's been the review we've been waiting for. The 1-year review of the Dodge Durango RT Tow and Go. So it's been a while since I've driven the Durango here. You can see I've got it in sport mode, eco mode, or eco off, of course, with the Brembos. And we're just pulling out of the driveway here. I gotta say, every time I drive the Durango, especially with this RT, with the tow and go package, and this sport exhaust on it, man, you don't need anything more than this 5.7 Hemi. For most people that buy this truck for what you get it for, which is the towing, the 8,700 pounds is why my parents bought this car. This is the most you will ever need. 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds, 365 horsepower, 395 foot-pound torque out of this 5.7 Hemi. With a few mods, of course, you can get a little bit more horsepower out of this, as I have done that in my Ram truck. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's not speechless. It's not like driving a 392 or the Hellcat Durango, but you still get enough horsepower. You still get enough torque. You still get enough towing. I mean, basically everything that makes this truck so much fun to drive. And again, if I didn't, need a truck for my work, I would go out and buy one of these for myself. But since it's in the family, I get to drive it once in a while. And for that reason, I'm making this 1-year review of this Durango RT Tow and Go. So with the Tow and Go package here, what you get with the Durango Tow and Go package on the interior is the upgraded optional red seats, of course, with the Dodge logo on the back. The upgraded steering wheel with the flat bottom, something you would normally see on the SRT 392 or the SRT Hellcat options. Track, sport, tow, and snow mode. In the regular RT, all you would get was sport and I believe tow, if that. And of course, the performance pages of the truck, which are honestly pretty cool once I get to them. We're going to launch the performance pages. So you get the dyno and the engine, the horsepower of that. I do have to say, with the RT Tow and Go package, the track, sport, and tow modes, of course, the variable steering changes. So you get heavier steering in sport and in track mode. You get the paddles as well, and you get some awesome dampening. With the Bilstein adjustable dampening shocks that you don't get on the normal RT Tow and Go here. So again, I'll step outside of the vehicle when I get into the shop and kind of explain some of that as well here. But we're driving in fog right now. The Tow and Go has the optional, I don't think it's optional on the Tow and Go, but it has auto adjusting headlights, of course, high beam, low beam, but they move up and down too as well. But we are driving through some fog, so when we get this in the shop, we can go over some technical details there as well. So we're actually just doing a little interior clean on the Tow and Go. You can see it needs a wash here as well. But some certain features you get with the Tow and Go on the exterior, we don't need the doors closed for this, are the exhaust, the SRT tuned exhaust. It is loud all the time. It is awesome. It makes your 5.7 sound better than actually my 6.1 Hemi and my 300 SRT. So you get the SRT tuned exhaust. One thing we did have to replace were the tires. The stock tires were Pirelli Scorpion P0s. All seasons, they sucked. They lasted about 40,000 miles though, which I thought was pretty amazing. So we replaced those with Grabber Ultra High Performance 295 45 R20s, just the stock tires. You can see the truck is a little dirty, so we do need to clean it. But what you get with that are 4-piston Brembos on the backs, SRT brakes, straight from the SRT 392 and the Hellcat. And on the front, you have the big dinner plates. I believe these are the largest Brembos on any American car made, along with the Hellcat Durango and any other Hellcat variations of Stellantis products. So 6-piston in the front, SRT by Brembo. They are slotted rotors. They are huge. You know, the rim is a 20. I want to say that these are 15.6 inches. So you do get that with it as well. You get the Hemi badging, of course, and you get these tires that are 10 inches instead of 9 on the regular RT version with the hyper black rims. So those are some of the features that you get. The front remains the same. This is the same front as the 392 and the regular RT. Of course, you got functional hood scoops here for cooling, functional heat extractors there as well. The RT tow and go, as you can see here, gets those wider tires. And of course on the back you get some badging, but we don't really need to see that. So on the interior, you're going to get the same RT seating as what would be in the SRT 392, except the 392 gets some more bolstering. And these seats are a little upgraded from the regular RT, as they are custom red option, demonic red, might I say. So that makes it pretty cool there. You can see the seats are actually fairly comfortable, and this is a 2021, but we've had this for a year now. Of course, I detailed it, so it looks really good. But the seats have held up really well. The bolstering is great. You know, the people who sit in this, myself included, I think the heaviest person that sits in this is like 160 pounds. So we're never going to see very much wear on the seats, which is awesome. Of course, like I said earlier, the flat bottom steering wheel. The track and sport and tow modes and snow as well, which honestly have come in quite handy. When you really sit in this truck here, you get an awesome sense of where the road is, how high you sit up in the vehicle, and especially with this whole redesign up front here, this is just so much better than the previous unrefreshed Durango with all of the buttons and the nice upgraded Uconnect 5, which is very similar to what is in my Ram truck over there. And that's about it for the interior. This has the upgraded Harman Kardon 19P system that is also in my Ram truck as well. And 2-person memory seating here. No massage, of course, because it's a Durango, but you do get up, down, back, forth, blah, blah, blah. Just the normal stuff you would get in any normal car. Automatic headlights with fogs, and some actually really good looking switchgear here on the vents. Nice headliner. We have the suede headliner in this, and awesome seating here for 6 people. The demonic red interior goes excellent with the black exterior and the red brake calipers. So that is that with the interior of the Durango. You can see it's held up just fantastic. As long as you take care of these trucks, everything is going to be basically okay. You know, it looks great, looks pretty new. You know, just take care of your stuff, take care of your headliner, take care of your tailgate area, and the truck holds up pretty dang well. On the exterior now, of course, it's not clean, so we won't be able to tell, but you can see where some of this PPF is starting to turn a little bit of different colors, honestly because of the rocks of how wide the tires are, kicking up rocks and stuff. You can see where we've run into some issues here on the PPF. Of course, it is a little dirty right now, but with that, either getting hit by rocks or just with the cold and the heat expanding and collapsing. So that has worn out a little bit, but overall, we haven't really had any issues with the truck. It's been fantastic. I've had a lot of really cool cars. This is the most engaging truck, vehicle, car, convertible, actual truck I've ever been in. More engaging than my 300 SRT, more engaging than my Benz E550, more engaging than my Genesis R-Spec, my 5.0 R-Spec, which I thought was one of the most engaging cars to drive, and more engaging than some other, lesser vehicles I've owned before. It's the total package. It looks great. It's held up fantastic. The engine has been phenomenal. This is our fifth Hemi in the family. Transmission is great. It's beefed up for the SRT 392 engine, so you never really should have to worry about any transmission problems because this has about 20 horsepower, 30 horsepower less than the SRT 392 version, and it's all-wheel drive, so it's perfect for all seasons. If you're looking for an SUV, this is the one to get. Look at how sexy this truck is. Beautiful, beautiful. So we did decide to clean it here, and you can see this black. It's the diamond black metallic, same as on my Chrysler 300 SRT and on the Dodge Journey RT that we have. So this thing shines up. I threw a ceramic coat on it last year, and the 1-year ceramic coat, I should have did a review of that, but the 1-year ceramic coating of this car is held up magnificent. You can see here how I was talking about earlier, some rocky areas that, are hit by sand and stone and whatever, have kind of, not held up as well. Everything else is held up great. The rear looks good. Of course, your tow hitch there. This is a phenomenal vehicle. If you're a male and you're looking to get yourself into an SUV without, sacrificing that girlish look of most trucks, this is the truck for you. This is awesome. Wow. Just fantastic. Oh, man. You can see there's a little scratch right there I haven't got out yet, but we'll get it out. So now we're going to get into the driving portion of the 1-year review of the Hemi-powered Durango RT Tow and Go. Where the Durango excels is on bumpy pavement. So, in northwest Wisconsin here, we don't have a lot of great roads, although the road I'm going on right now is actually just freshly repaved, so that is actually pretty nice. But with the 20x10s and the available track, sport, and normal mode, the suspension is variable. So with that, it can be, fine-tuned to whatever driving condition you're on. And now, there we go. Got it in sport mode. Gave it a little exhaust. And the gears actually stay. And that's also pretty cool there. Oh, shoot. Dirt on the roads. I just washed it. So, again, you're going to notice any little dirt patch you go over like that is going to essentially send the dirt onto the truck itself, which sucks. There's no getting around that just because of how big the tires are. But compared to the old Durango here, this is just such a better layout, and it really took it into modern times. Even with this digital display up here, you have essentially all of that up here, which is pretty cool. And I like to leave it on the traditional analog looking display with the G-forces in the middle, because I think that just makes it that much more cool and brings that much more, I guess, driving experience to the truck itself. But cruising along here in sport mode on these freshly paved roads, this is a ride like no other. And then when you take it off, it's actually pretty floaty and very comfortable. Even when you put it into track mode, the steering really tightens up really makes it direct, and the suspension tightens up as well. And even on these, that's not a mode you want to be in all the time, especially on bumpy pavement, because even on these flat roads, you can essentially tell any little tiny bump in the road based on the suspension. And I do have to comment here, the General Grabber tires are actually a little softer than the stock Pirellis, so that does help with the ride for most of the people who aren't going to be doing any 10/10ths driving with this truck. But gear shifts on downshifts, really, really, really quick. Lightning fast on upshifts. It's pretty engaging to drive. I should say lightning fast on downshifts. Sorry, my bad. I got a little distracted. The lane departure warning system is very similar to that in my Ram, although this system doesn't work as good as my Ram truck. I believe this is only Dodge to feature that in the lineup. Maybe the Hornet has it now, but it doesn't work as good as I would want it to work. This guy doesn't have his lights on. But it still performs okay. It's good enough. It's there to help you, essentially, and it's just an added little feature. But we're coming up to a corner here, and we're going to slow down, and even with this fog, we are still going to take the corner pretty aggressively in track mode. Now, track mode, remind you, does take all the traction control off, and it puts 95% of the torque in the rear. So it puts 95% of the power in the rear, and it makes for a fun driving experience. So we're going to slow down, and what it also does is make the brakes a little bit more touchy. Now, this truck does need Brembos to make it stop, but if we skip through gears here and take this corner with some gusto, gotta watch out for cops. It's pretty fun. I did that using my knee, people. I mean, you can't get any better than that. A year old, and this truck still handles like it still should. Puts the power down and the torque down. Just excellent. You could see there's basically 500 foot-pounds of torque, and the power there too is pretty dang high. So it's like I said, it's fun to drive. It's very engaging around corners. The manual controls of the truck are great. Now today's manuals have gotten so good to where if you haven't grown up using a manual, the manual controls on these trucks have gotten so good where, it basically makes the average driver not even want to need a manual, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, it makes trucks like these engaging to drive. So, a year review, I mean, you can't really ask for anything more out of this truck. It's engaging. Yeah, some of it is old. It's old architecture. But again, when, you build something this good, you can't tell this is old. I mean, you can't tell it's old. It's based off of a Mercedes ML, I think. Even the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the WK1 or WK2 was too. So overall, we're very happy with this truck. It was well worth the money. Granted, you are paying a little bit more now, but for the ability to have an engaging driving experience and always have fun, worth it. This used was $53,000. Brand new was about $65 to $70. It's worth it. I would go out and buy one of these things used. You won't regret it. So, Dodge Durango RT Tow and Go, worth every penny. We have had nothing go wrong with this truck after a year of service. It's been awesome, reliable, fun, awesome.